What's up, world? Welcome back to Charge the Game podcast. I'll be your host here, Chuck, and we are here to discuss the fate of my Philadelphia Eagles as we have had our wings clipped towards the end of, the season, the regular season at least. Obviously, we sniffed a playoff berth, and Baker Mayfield destroyed us. Which leads us to the predicament we are in now, which is cleaning the house. Okay, we are cleaning the house. You guys saw where they got rid of Coach Pencil. All right, that was defensive coordinator / assistant Matt Patricia, who in all fairness was there as a backup, but obviously after we saw that even the backup wasn't the answer, we can no longer further this relationship. Okay, so then we get rid of him. All right. We get rid of Desai, right, which was the original defensive coordinator, and now we're getting rid of what's his name, the OC, Brian Johnson. And I get it, right? Jaylen Hurst got very comfortable. I'm just gonna tell it like it is. I'm so sick of these Philadelphia Eagle fans, right? And I'm a diehard Philadelphia Eagle fan, and anybody listen to this, they know this, right? But okay. People are acting like Jaylen Hurst is above criticism. I told you guys that a lot of problems that go on in the locker room, you literally have to be the type of player to grab the situation by the horns and de-escalate a lot of these personalities. Now I get it. A lot of this involves head coaches and position coaches to further assist, but there can only be one true leader in that locker room. And that's where I place a lot of the blame on Jaylen Hurst. As if you cannot criticize Jaylen Hurst. Let me guess, because he's Mr. GQ, or because, you know, he can go to the podium and keep a poker face and read a Bible scripture or tell you some philosophical shit to make you feel that he is the leader. Well, guess what, guys? You guys ever worked a job, right? And all you're thinking to yourself is, I'm just trying to get to my paycheck. So I'll BS throughout the week as long as I get my paycheck. And I get that that isn't everybody's mentality, but that's just literally what these athletes do Sunday after Sunday or Monday and Thursday. They go to the podium. We got to do better. Got to not playing to the standard. Keep the main thing the main thing. I'm so sick of all of this philosophical, what does Zion Williamson say, lackadaisical? I'm so sick of this same type of mentality going to the podium, and I get it, right? It's the right thing to do. No, give me the real. See, a lot of people were pointing fingers at AJ Brown, but let me tell you guys something. I like AJ Brown. Yeah, he kind of got on my nerves because he's a diva, but boy, he backs it up. We talk about Deebo Samuels. There's not too many other wide receivers next to Deebo Samuel with that playing style. I would say a Metcalf, AJ Brown. Mind you, these guys were on the same team at Ole Miss. How the hell y'all didn't win with DK Metcalf and AJ Brown? Same line. Wow. But that's why I like AJ Brown. AJ Brown kept it real. He didn't want to talk. Didn't want to talk when he did not want to talk, and talk when he did want to talk. Obviously, it's hard for a guy like him. He plays with his emotions, but he knows all the BS that's going on. He knows that Jaylen Hurst's body language is killing the team. He also knows that the OC is killing the team. He also know that these go routes, everybody just run straight. We was throwing Hail Marys every play, basically. I mean, Devontae Smith blocking $120 and trying to block. Stop. What? Let me calm down and keep myself under composure right now. And keep the main thing, as Jaylen Hurst likes to state. Okay? So, on top of that, you got Jaylen Hurst with his body language, which is very LeBron-esque to me. When things aren't going his way, he's pouting. He's looking like a spoiled coach's kid on the field. Now, this was a guy who was marveled for his leadership, right? This was a guy who was marveled for coming from the fantastic family upbringing. Dad was your coach. You don't lose those intangibles when things don't go your way, bro. I'm sorry, Philadelphia. I know that a lot of us are torn in between, but let me tell you guys something. As a black man, I'm here to spit facts. I'm not here to support what's right just because of the skin color. That's the dumbest shit ever. And a lot of fans are doing that. you guys are, I'm on the fan page all day commenting and saying stuff. I just kind of speak my mind. And I could tell that a lot of people, well, I can't even say that in Philly. A lot of people normally would bite their tongues, but not in Philly. Like, all fans say how they feel. Obviously, we have an obnoxious fan base. But if you guys just were to look at this fan page or the few fan pages I follow and I've joined, right? And I am a top contributor, by the way. Man, if you guys look at this fan page, these people are so afraid to go against Jaylen Hurst because of the backlash. Well, I don't care. I care about winning football. And I remember I left a comment yesterday where I said, it's okay to criticize Jaylen Hurst. Okay? I have 3 Jaylen Hurst jerseys. Okay? The black one, the midnight green, and the Kelly green. Right? But from what I saw this season, his body language sucked. He can't pick up a blitz. And guess what? That doesn't make me any less of a fan. I watched the game with my eyes, not with my heart. A lot of you are afraid to just straight up say that Jaylen Hurst sucked this season as well. We can place the blame on the OCs and the DCs, but good quarterback play rises above all of that. We saw Justin Herbert do it a lot, right? During the head coach, the guy that was there during his tandem, they fired him. He was in over his head, and I'm starting to feel like maybe that was Nick Sirianni this season. I think that Nick Sirianni is a great cultural creator. Sometimes to me, I think that he is trying to be something that he's not. Right? He's trying to be fake Philly blue collar tough guy. Guess what? That's in you. That's in you. You either got it or you don't. Save the theatrics. Give me the real. I'm not gonna lie, I was pulling for him to lose his job too, because I could not believe. I almost thought that the NFL paid them to tank. Goodness gracious. I'm trying to exhaust everything of what was the cause of the debacle. Like everything, right? Like we could point at players, we could point at coaches. Okay, but bottom line is I place a lot of this at the quarterback's feet, because a lot of this is placed at the quarterback's feet when we win, right? When we win, Jaylen Hurst MVP, walk-off touchdown, QB run, QB draw during against the Buffalo Bills. He holding up his hands, acting like he MJ, like, I don't know, what do you want me to say? I want you to say what the hell makes sense to me and what the hell is going on. I want you to say something that's going to make this fan base believe in you more. We saw on Undisputed today. I don't know if you guys watched it, but obviously reports are coming out. Maybe Jaylen Hurst was the problem. Maybe Jaylen Hurst was not the problem. Maybe the coach was the problem. Maybe we just don't know. But I tell you this, based off playing sports and based off knowing what I know, and the few people that I know in the NFL, right? The few players I worked out with, a lot of people in the locker rooms aren't as tight, aren't as close. You guys saw the way Dallas Goedert was like all in Jaylen Hurst's face in the playoffs because Jaylen Hurst wasn't dumping him the ball. You guys try to run up and down a 100-yard field all day, 60 minutes, busting your lungs up, can't breathe, need a blow, wide open, and I got to do this again, and you're not going to throw me the ball because you can't pick up a blitz? Come on, guys. Come on, don't get me started. Let's get into these reports where it looks like since we cleaned house, Eagles are, and this is from CBSSports.com, Eagles interview former Cardinals head coach Cliff Kingsbury for our offensive coordinator position. Now, one thing I will say about Cliff Kingsbury, he's obviously a sharp guy. Anybody that can make a head coach position, I tend to lean on something. You know something to get through an interview. You have to. But anyway, it goes on to say that it appears the Philadelphia Eagles will move forward with head coach Nick Sirianni in 2024. Which, in my opinion, I think may be a prove-it deal, but we'll see. But the coaching staff is getting a makeover. Defensive coordinator Sean Desai was let go. Obviously, the offensive coordinator Gerard Johnson, which we already visited in the beginning of this monologue. It goes on to say that according to NFL media, the Eagles interviewed current USC senior offensive analyst and former Arizona Cardinals head coach Cliff Kingsbury for their offensive coordinator job on Tuesday. Kingsbury has received some NFL interest this offseason, reportedly interviewing with the Chicago Bears and Pittsburgh Steelers as well. Kingsbury was fired by the Cardinals last January after 4-13 campaign. He went 28-37 during his 4th season with the Cardinals. Cliff Kingsbury, I'm not going to lie, I kind of like it, right? Obviously, there are a few other candidates out there, but I kind of like it because I saw Kyler Murray have 1 to 2 good years in his system. Now, obviously, Cliff Kingsbury lost the locker room when Kyler Murray pretty much told him to chill the fuck out on the field, which was very disrespectful. Showing up your coach like that in front of all these grown men and the fans and the media, you're not gonna really get respect after that. Kyler Murray is every bit of 5'9". Come on now. But I will say for the Philadelphia Eagles organization, obviously we needed some creative play schemes, play calling, and what Brian Johnson had to offer was not it. I'm sorry, Jaylen Hurst. I know that he is a friend of the family. He's been knowing you since you was 3. Well, we have fans who have been fans here since they were 3, and that ultimately trumps that shit. Okay? Sorry. Get them out of here. Get somebody that can manage it. Get somebody that can handle it. Now, I'll be very interested to see if the Eagles will pounce on this, because if you're going down the street to the Pittsburgh Steelers where they needed an offensive makeover, Mike Tomlin, right? A player's coach who people will run through the wall for. You might not want to let Cliff Kingsbury get too far, because he's going to decimate the teams that need a drastic change with offense. And obviously the Bears and Pittsburgh with Kenny Pickett and Justin Fields, if Justin Fields is to remain there, need offensive help along with us. So it's very imperative that you guys get this handled. Moving on to the second article that was released, and this is from the Eagles Wire, which makes it official, I guess. It goes on to say that Eagles interviewed Texans QB coach Gerard Johnson for vacant OC job. Now let's go down here and look at his accolades. The 35-year-old Johnson, I like that already, because you definitely want somebody young enough to resonate with these new millennials, right? The 35-year-old Johnson has just 4 years of NFL coaching experience and no experience calling plays, but he is considered a rising star in the coaching ranks. And keep in mind, when these coaches say he's considered a rising star, it's because in their small circle, they talk about the next Kyle Shanahan's, the next Harbaugh's, the next McVay, like all of that. So obviously, if the coaches who have seniority and are talking this way, they know that this guy has something to offer. So I'm gonna keep my eye on this, but let's keep going. Under his direction, Houston, Texas rookie quarterback C.J. Stroud put together one of the greatest seasons ever by a first-year signal caller, throwing for 4,108 yards and 23 touchdowns against 5 interceptions in 15 games. Now, that's what I need. I don't know. I know what I just said about Cliff Kingsbury, but you get C.J. Stroud to look like this your rookie season and his rookie season, and you got that experience, your imagination is about to blow. You're about to get super creative with these schemes and these play callings. And I bet you he's probably cheaper than Cliff Kingsbury. But he won't be for long if he sits out there on that market, because somebody's going to snatch him up. Oh, no. You can't be a good quarterback in this league and not have those coordinators snatch, because they politely snatched our OC and DC, and we look like crap. Now, this is even better, because we all know that this secondary was so atrocious. We now have 6 candidates that the Eagles are eyeing. We got Wink Martindale, right? As you guys see, I can't spend too much time. This video is long enough. Denard Wilson, Glenn Schumann, right? Ron Rivera, don't know about that one. Al Harris, I like Al Harris, but I don't want him because he was on Arrival. Sorry. Next, Mike Caldwell. I believe that was it. So seeing these, I don't know. Defense, I don't know. I don't know which direction to go, but I'm more so leaning towards Glenn Schumann. Obviously, we have so many players from Georgia who would literally be so enthused to have a coach like this. Obviously, playing with a coach from college, and then you're in the pros, you're familiar with his tactics, his schemes. It's going to make this defense pop the way it should have this season. Moving on to my last but not least report, and this is from Essentially Sports, where they're pretty much going in on Jaylen Hurst. All right, you guys heard me and how I felt about it, so let's see if the reports did not pick up what I saw. And this report goes on to say, QB Jaylen Hurst is receiving criticism regarding the game in actions. QB Jaylen Hurst is receiving criticism regarding his game in actions. It goes on to say that sources have grilled Jaylen Hurst on his performance with the Eagles. The Eagles have lost in the knockouts again, leaving their fan base shattered, which he did. Oh my God, which they did. The Philadelphia Inquirer has referred to him as a different QB. And we all know it's already hard enough for a black man in this league. Let's just be honest with this. We see more black quarterbacks now more than ever, but it's very hard to convince an organization that a running quarterback can get you to where you need to be. And that's where Jaylen Hurst fumbled the ball, because you're already labeled as a different quarterback. In these moments, we need you to step up and show us, like CJ Stroud, that the moment doesn't have to be big enough for you to play the game that you love. I don't get this. You guys love this game. You spend so much learning the game to get to the biggest game that once you finally make it to the biggest level, the pro level, you get laxed. You get $250 million. And I get it. I think that Jaylen Hurst is transitioning from being a college football player who got passed on by Nick Saban, transferred to Oklahoma, to proving himself in the NFL. And I believe this was his year of exhale. I believe this was his year where he could relax and enjoy being a celebrity. He obviously has endorsements, the Hulu, the Jordan brand, $250,000. You got literally all these digits in your bank account. It's hard to focus on football. I'm just being honest. As humans, you want to go back home. You want to take care of your family. You want to make sure they're good. You got people calling you. You got people, vendors, who want to invest with you because they know that you have deep pockets now. You're being pushed and tugged so many ways. That's why you have to have your ducks in a row. That's why these NFL scouts like to go and draft a QB1 that is religious and married, because they know, for the most part, when all of this stuff starts to come into your life, you pay people to handle it for you and you focus on football. But when you're an underdog trying to prove yourself, like Tom Brady, some people go the opposite direction and they have to enjoy the fruits of their labor first. I bet you next season, obviously Jaylen Hurst is going to be better because his fan base is eating his ass up. We don't care. We don't play that. We don't care where you took us, i.e. Carson Wentz, which is starting to sound like Jaylen Hurst is somewhat Carson Wentz, because we saw the reports come out where Jaylen Hurst is apparently not the guy to be around when he's mopey and moody, standoffish. It reminds me a lot of Carson Wentz, right? So I get it, but I bet you next year that ass is going to come with a lot more fire under him, because it's hard in the league, but it's really hard in Philadelphia. And we will trade you. We'll trade that coach. We'll trade anything and do what we have to do to win. Carson Wentz was just like you, close to an MVP, got us to the Super Bowl, got hurt basically, and Nick Foles took over. Nick Foles, you will always be my guardian angel. You took me to the promised land. Why couldn't you stay with us? You know why? Ego. I'm sorry. Carson Wentz, we love you. This guy got us a Super Bowl. He stays. He could still be your backup. He stays. Probably wouldn't be in this situation. Who knows? Nonetheless, I'm very thankful for Jaylen Hurst, because man, that season he put together last season was impeccable. Amazing. So I'm not going to drag this out too long. Obviously, the reports are coming out where Jaylen Hurst is pretty much to blame for some of this, not all of it, some of it. And yeah, Philadelphia, you guys weigh in on this. All my Eagle fans out there, weigh in on this. All my Eagle fans out there, I want you guys to weigh in on this topic. And if you are an Eagles fan, what are you doing? Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, so you guys can continue to get the latest when I drop my sport takes. That's all I have for you guys today. Thank you guys so much. Go Birds, fly Eagles fly. Like always, let me know how you charge the game. Peace.